Hello everybody, my name's Antoine. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich against Russia. So, in today's video, how we're going to be starting this off is, if you've been watching the series up to this point, and I want to thank, I should have had this information up before I actually started this, but there's a person on my YouTube channel that every single video will post a list of all of the changes in national spirits. Basil Guys 28? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But as you may know, we've been dealing with this decision here, or not the decision, this national spirit, economic fallout, which is negative 35% factory output, docket output, repair speed's bad, and consumer goods 45%. It's really bad. On top of that, we've been having economic influence from Germany. We've been having the flight of German capital, and this number, which is the stranglehold German capital, is at 10. It's maxed out. So I did some digging. I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong here? And the answer is that this is just broken. The decision, like all of these, it reduces German economic influence by -1. At least that's what it says. But it's changing the wrong modifier. Again, I think it was like yesterday I actually looked this up. So. But it's reducing the modifier, which is like RUS _ economic _ influence. When it's supposed to reduce a modifier called like RUS _ German _ influence or whatever. So it doesn't actually go down at all. Not at all. And then on top of that, I was wondering, where did we even get this decision from? Which is why I want to thank the guy in the comments. Because he actually posted, hey, like, it was in this video is when you got this national spirit. So I went back and I watched that video, and I the whole thing, like, and there's never a time where it told us we got this spirit. You know, there's no events. It just appeared It just appeared in, like, for some reason. I don't know why. So I was like, okay, where did this national spirit come from? And the answer is there's only one thing that triggers this focus or the spirit. It is when you go to war with Germany and you have not completed this minigame. So if you go to war with Germany and if you've not completed this minigame, then this focus shows up, or the spirit shows up. On top of that, by the way, it's also only supposed to be for like 6 months. And we got this like about 2 years ago, roughly in-game. And on top of that, the flight of German capital is only supposed to be for 140 days. German economic influence obviously is supposed to be getting less bad as we take those decisions, but that doesn't actually work. So we've been having penalties for no reason. Absolutely no reason we've been having these penalties. So what we're going to be doing here is we are going to remove these modifiers. We're going to remove the ideas, economic fallout, and then I think it's called brain drain. So we're going to remove those ideas first and foremost. On top of that, also because, you know, we've been doing these events this entire time, but it's done nothing. I'm assuming at this point we probably pressed 7 points. Including the fact that we did do the, it wasn't declaring ban, it was like the defaulting on the German loans, which it also didn't do anything. And it was not, I mean, I appreciate, other comments said, oh, maybe it's because we're doing the appeasement for Germany. That's just a political power loss. That's the only thing that's supposed to do is a -30. So, what we need to do is we need to fire, it's Rush Event 405. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're supposed to get. This is what we were supposed to have this entire time. Russia free of German influence. At long last, the Russian state is free of German influence. For all modern Russian history, our industry and natural resources have been subjects to foreign interest, be they French, British, American, or German. But with the extensive restructuring of our economy, this is no longer the case. Factories and railroads built with foreign cash are now entirely in Russian hands, and they will remain so. So get some political power. We're going to get popular anger -1. And then on top of that, because we've been having a negative like 50% modifier to construction here, because before we only had 100 factories. If you go at the very end of last episode, we had 100 factories. So we have an extra 22 that we were supposed to have basically the entire time. So I did some math. Just to try to figure out, okay, like, how much industry did we lose? And the answer is, it's about 200,000, give or take, construction points. I don't even know what you want to call this. Like, just construction cost. which is about 10 civilian factories, 14 military factories, and a single fuel silo. So I'm going to be giving those to myself to try to get us to where we were supposed to be. I mean, again, like, Germany's been having our extra factories for that entire time, right? They've been having more factories than they were supposed to have. So they're actually stronger than they usually would be. So we're just going to, let's just say Moscow. That should be, actually no, because this is already, like, capped out. We'll just go, you know, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And I think we have, like, one more state we can go to. So that'll be our 10 civilian factories. On top of that, we need 14 military factories. Which, again, we were supposed to have these, not the entire time, obviously, but at this point, we would have had them. Right? So that's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, and then 14. And then we'll just add a fuel silo. It doesn't really matter what the fuel silo is. That's synthetic refinery. Where's our fuel? There it is. So that's done. And then on top of that, again, we've been having these penalties to our equipment modifiers. So we're just going to spawn in a very small number of units to take their equipment. So I don't know. We'll just do like 120, a 20 stack. We'll go like 4 of you. We'll have like 1 armored division. And we'll send like 1 motorized division, I think seems okay. Which is probably, give or take, what it should have been. We're going to get about, you know, 8,000 manpower. It's not really a big deal one way or the other. Even then, I think we're actually underselling it, but that's that. Okay, now we can actually get it back into this. It's been 6 minutes into the video already. And our divisions have now arrived in the Middle East, which is fantastic. Look, we have 17 more factories we can use. So I think we want more military. 80% here, 80% there. I don't want to build it in St. Petersburg for just in case it gets completely overrun. So I think this should be fine. And for our divisions now, I'm going to put you into the Sinai Peninsula. We're going to have you march your way towards Jerusalem. Try to take all of this if we can. Deploy units. We'll worry about that afterwards. Extra units are still on their way. And for our aircraft, just kind of hang it around here. I think that should be fine. Yeah, have you assist on this front. Is there any of these other things we really care about? Oh, we can actually now do the pacification because we actually have guns now. So let's do pacification in North Caucasus. And we can eradicate anti-Russian influence. Which is good. It took a while to get there, but we did get there in the end. And that means we can actually afford to upgrade you. And because we actually have more factories, we can actually start building stuff. Ugh, fantastic. We love to see it. I mean, I think the rest of you is probably okay. I mean, they were Wildenkrieg era tanks we got by spawning in those units, but honestly, I think that's fine. A tank is a tank. I mean, they're going to be, you know, slightly shittier tanks, but beggars can't be choosers. And I don't think there's a better way for me to add units. I mean, there might be, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So let's move you in this direction. You guys, you know what? Why don't you move your way towards Muscat? I think that seems okay. And did we send troops to Yemen? No. We can send up 1 troop as well, so I will do so. We will deploy you to Yemen. And our other... Oh, yeah, we couldn't send any more aircraft. I know we actually have some here. But mostly we couldn't send more aircraft because, you know, Saudi Arabia doesn't have an air base. Which is not great. Party communists died. Kind of, you know, to be expected. I think you guys are good marching. Move your way along the coast. I'm just glad that we were able to kind of resolve this issue. It's kind of been, like, looming over our heads for a while, let's just say. Can you guys really not push your way through these standard Ottoman divisions? I wonder, because we have this cavalry division is kind of hanging out. Could we, like, theoretically Yeah, move you here and then just like walk our way up. Do not turn on night and day mode, please and thank you. I never want it there. We need to get you to take this port so these Ottoman troops can get crushed. And that allows the Egyptians to move their way, you know, towards here. I mean, we could also maybe send troops to Syria as well, but that one I think is just a little bit more risky, which is something I don't want to deal with. Yeah, you go take Qatar and Bahrain. This Ottoman division should be, you know, in a pretty bad form. Persia, oh yeah, Persia's now at war as well. How many troops can we send you? We can send you 3. And no planes, really. We can send planes to Saudi Arabia, but I cannot send any planes to Persia. Which means fine. Send these volunteers over. I don't think anybody else is really going to go to war with the Ottomans. Not Georgia. I mean, Georgia, I think, theoretically can, but I don't know if they're really going to do it. Okay, the encirclement here has now been completed. Crush remaining of the Ottoman troops on this front, please and thank you. And now that we have secured Arish, and we've actually connected up with the Syrians. So actually, maybe we do send troops to Syria now. Now that they're actually on a shared front line, it probably does make some sense. Let's send you over, and we did unlock the 5th columnist, which does require us to have more power projection, which right now we have 0 of, which is not great. How's the PSA actually doing right now? I think they're doing okay. I'll support the PSA. We'll send us some guns. Aside from that, I don't think we need to worry about these numbers whatsoever. What about national focus? Power projection goes up by 5. I mean, I do want the power projection. And you know what? Mission trips are on. Maybe we can get Persia in our alliance. I would, at 100%, love to have Persia be my friend. I see no downsides to that right now. Armenia. Ooh, Armenia's uprising as well. And Armenia is a theoretical ally. What's Muscat? Muscat is... Oh, we're at war with Muscat. Muscat is actually an Ottoman ally. I don't know why I thought that they were anti-Ottomans. Even though they usually do side with the Ottomans. Either that or they side with the Dominion of India. Armenia has... Oh, fantastic! Armenia has rightfully agreed to join our alliance and pledged to help us in our wars in exchange for protection. Does that mean that we're going to actually be at war with the Ottoman Empire? Wait a second. Wait a second. Georgia has secured more territory. Armenia. Okay, this is a much odder situation I thought we would be in. I'll invite Georgia, though. Why not? We might be going to war with the Ottoman Empire. in a twist of fate. You know what? Okay, now that I know that I can just give them the 30 political power, it's not that bad. Hopefully. Okay. And I was looking still at China, because we do have a decision to kind of get ourselves involved in China. I would imagine we'd probably back the Chongqing government. Like, I think that makes the most sense. Georgia has accepted. They've joined the Moscow Accord. Independence fervor. Germany has sanctioned the forestry sector, which is... increased duration of military... Okay, so it just increases the 1 penalty we already have. Which is honestly not that bad. Oh, by the way, what is the benefit for the Economic Council? Political power gain and production efficiency. I mean, it's not the greatest one that we've ever seen, but it's honestly not, like, too bad. And I do want to get new aircraft. Whenever we get a new research slot, I would like to get some more planes. I think that'd be really, really nice for us. Our divisions have arrived. Have you called any of... Maybe Armenia doesn't call anybody in for one reason or another. Which means fine by me, because, again, I don't want Armenia to call us in. Or call in Georgia or anybody like that. I prefer if they just kind of don't do that. Yeah, let's invite Georgia as well to the council. I'm assuming it's going to make our modifiers better if they say yes. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a... Okay, now Armenia is calling people in to help. Do I do it? Do I join the war against the Ottomans? Or do I just keep the I think I just keep the volunteers. And I don't directly intervene myself. Because you just get penalties for being at war. Such as, you know, we're going to get a stability hit. We're going to get a war support hit. And I kind of don't want to have to deal with that if I can avoid it. Formation of the nomenclature. The table of ranks, one of the most important social elevators in the Russian Empire, did not die with the empire. The mechanism that allowed commoners to become nobles for their service and merit through advancement through the government or military career ladder was one of the most progressive institutions in Russia at the time. This allowed people like Lenin, Kornilov, Gorchakov, and Denikin to become nobles as a result of their or their ancestors' service. Restored in a new iteration after the February Revolution in the Russian Republic, the new table of governmental ranks served not as just an instrument for ennoblement, but for interdepartmental relations and fair payment and pensions for government officials. At the last Congress of the SZRS, De Vos himself took to the podium to put forward the principle of selecting government personnel according to their qualities, condemning nepotism in the actions of local bureaucrats who dragged along their friends and cronies, placing them in key positions in the Republican state apparatus, creating a group of people personally devoted to them. After storming applause in the hall, Savinkov continued, "It's not good to select people like that. This method of selection there is anti-popular. I'd say anti-party. As a solution to the problem, a new reform was proposed. The abandonment of the table of government ranks with its replacement with the nomenclature list of state officials. The new project will require all local party offices to compile a list of people who can be trusted to serve in the government agencies, and will oblige only such people to be appointed to the important positions. Of course, an alternative route for appointment will be allowed, which will require fair and democratic elections, and, as such, ensure the popular support of the candidate. This reform will prevent any formation of anti-popular cliques in local administrations, and will allow the party to move the country forward in accordance to the visions of a better Russia." Well, I'll take a 2% stability boost. And again, I don't want to go to war with the Ottomans, I think. I'm fine if they want to call in... I guess they can't call in Turkestan. But if they want to call in Mongolia and East Turkestan, then, you know, let them. But, I don't want the penalties for having to be at war. I don't think that's in my interest. Station these troops here. Red Army is... I mean, the thing is, we push our way up north? Or we push our way towards, south? Good question. It's a good question. You'll be moving your way over there, which is great. You guys seem like you're doing okay. I think Red Army in the south will mostly just defend and not do anything too crazy. Because who's over here right now? Just Germany and Austria. Kind of those to be expected to support the Ottomans. How are you guys doing in the north? I mean, they're fairly okay. Again, Georgia wants us to go to war. East Turkestan and Mongolia did accept the call to arms. But I don't want them... I don't want to get involved directly. I don't think it actually benefits us. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if we were to send all of our troops, we would obviously win. It wouldn't be even that difficult. But I don't know if there's, like, a modifier that will, like, get Germany involved or something like that. That is a risk I don't want to necessarily take. For 150, can I get a new political advisor? Stability, power change, non-core manpower plus 30%. Recruit Polish, Latvian, White Ruthenian, and Ukrainian divisions. Notes, Groper is a firm but moderate supporter of Boris Savinkov and one of the main proponents of the Russian-Latvian alliance. Okay. You know what? Sure, we'll get the tireless recruiter. I think that seems okay. Vision to Tehran. Invade Afghanistan. Progress in the steppes. There's so many good choices we can make. Could develop the heartlands. Add the Russian cause. War population is not bad. More support for ourselves. I mean, 5% more breakthrough and recovery rate. Let's get some army commissars in here. Create a Russian division. Okay, so these are just like free units. which I will want to do at some point, but I do not think I want to do it quite yet. Aid to Iran. Organize Russophile groups, incite anti-Germanism. I mean, there's some good stuff in here for sure. Invite Persia. That requires, I'm assuming, the Ottomans still have lost. Yes. One of the following must be true. Is that war with the Ottomans? Oh, no, we need to be out. If we're at war with the Ottomans, then we can call them in. Okay. So, I mean, that's one more point maybe in favor of actually doing a direct intervention. But I'm still iffy on the idea. Because, again, what's their penalty for joining? If X while at war, it actually doesn't list anything. Well, I mean, when you put it that way... maybe a direct war into the Ottoman Empire is not the worst idea in the world. But I will say, what's a great idea, what's the best idea in the world right now is to end this episode. So if you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.